Dear students, yesterday we discussed about the reactions of aliphatic and aromatic amines, and we were uh, discussing about the reaction of amines with nitrous acid. As you know, that this reaction is a very important reaction, reason being, by using this reaction, you can differentiate between primary, secondary and tertiary amines on the basis of product formation by the concerned amine with nitrous acid. Secondly, you know that nitrous acid, which is being very unstable, it should be prepared in situ during the course of reaction, and then immediately after its formation it will react with the amines. So we have discussed about the reaction of nitrous acid with primary, aromatic and aliphatic amines, and today we are going to discuss about the same reaction, that is reaction with nitrous acid, but now with secondary amines and tertiary amines and some more reactions of amines. So starting with the reaction of secondary amine, that is aliphatic and aromatic, either heterocyclic as well, with nitrous acid. So you can see on the screen that when secondary amine, that is whether it is aliphatic or it is aromatic, when it is reacting with nitrous acid, at that time it will give rise to N-nitrosoamines. Basically this N-nitrosoamine is a yellow colored oil. So formation of this yellow colored oil or yellow colored emulsion during the course of reaction is basically an identification of presence of secondary amine into the functional into the organic compound, right? And when this N-nitrosoamine, that is the yellow emulsion, is heated with crystals of phenol and sulfuric acid, it turns into green colored solution. From yellow color it will be converted into green color, and on addition of aqueous sodium hydroxide into this green solution will convert it into deep blue and then finally red on dilution, right? So this color change chemistry is basically called as Lieberman's nitroso test, that this particular N-nitrosoamine has been synthesized during course of reaction, and this particular reaction that I have explained you, this reaction is called as the Lieberman's nitroso test, and by using this test we can easily identify presence of secondary amine group in any organic molecule, right? So this is a very good method, and this is the mechanism by which it can react with the nitrous acid. As you know that nitrous acid will release the NO positive, and this NO positive will react with the lone pair of electron present on the nitrogen like this one, and when it attack at this particular position it will finally get converted into N-nitrosoamine, that is N-nitroso, this piperidine particularly in this case, right? So this is the reaction of secondary aliphatic, aromatic and heterocyclic amines with the nitrous acid. Now after this reaction we will come to the next reaction, that is a reaction of tertiary amines with nitrous acid. When tertiary amines react with nitrous acid, at that time there will be different reaction in case of aliphatic and in case of aromatic system. When we talk about aliphatic system generally form protonated complexes. For example, this is the reaction, that this is a tertiary amine, tertiary aliphatic amine. When it react with nitrous acid, it will be protonated and will get converted into this type of salt. So this is the reaction of aliphatic amine with nitrous acid. When we talk about the aromatic system, Aromatic system will have some different type of chemistry when they react with HNO2, when they react with nitrous acid. As you know that nitrous acid will release the NO positive, right? When it release the NO positive, so at that time we can say that the aromatic system will undergo the aromatic electrophilic substitution reaction with the NO positive nitrosonium ion. This nitrosonium ion, that is NO positive, as you know that this is a weak electrophile, and this weak electrophile will takes part into the aromatic electrophilic substitution reaction. When we are concerned about this aromatic electrophilic substitution reaction, we can say that basically in case of nitrogen group is attached on the aromatic system on the benzene ring, nitrogen will have the electron pair, and they will have plus R effect, and you know that when they are having plus R effect, at that time we can say that this is basically ortho para directing in its nature. So the incoming electrophile will now attack at para position. Reason being, here you are having some crowding, because this particular nitrogen is containing 2 methyl group, 2 R group are present at this particular nitrogen. So this particular weak electrophile attack at this para position. Another case of this tertiary aromatic amine is that with benzene ring there must be some activating group for this reaction, because NO positive is a weak electrophile. When we have a reaction of weak electrophile with the benzene ring, at that time strong activating group must be there, like NR2, which is attached on the benzene ring. So that strong activating group will direct the incoming electrophile, will direct the incoming NO positive to attack at the para position. So in this case you can clearly see that this is your substrate, that is N-dimethyl aniline. When it is subjected to react with the nitrous acid HNO2 at 0 to 5 degrees Celsius temperature, will get converted into NN-dimethyl 4 nitrosoaniline. So NO positive will be will attack at the para position. So this is the reaction by which we can differentiate between primary, secondary and tertiary amines by using different type of test. Now the next important reaction of amines is carbyl amine reaction, and this reaction is also called as Hofmann isonitrile synthesis. And basically, my dear students, this reaction is taking place in case of aliphatic primary amine and aromatic primary amines. So basically this reaction can be used for identification of the primary amine inside any organic molecule. In this reaction you will get the isocyanide, right? This is the reaction, that how it react. This is the primary amine. When this primary amine is reacted with chloroform, that is basic condition, in presence of alcoholic solution of potassium hydroxide, at that time with slight heating, you know, you are converting this RNH2 into carbyl amine, that is RNC. So isocyanide will be synthesized during this reaction. So this is also called as Hofmann isonitrile synthesis reaction. This is the case that aniline is also reacting under the similar condition, and it is converted into this particular phenyl isocyanide. What is the mechanism for this reaction? The mechanism for this reaction will, you know, start with the formation of CCl2, that is dichlorocarbene, right? Because reaction is taking place in presence of basic medium and we are having chloroform. So formation of carbene will be initiated by attack of OH negative on the hydrogen. First of all, the OH negative will abstract the acidic hydrogen from the chloroform and will convert it into CCl3 negative. Then ultimately Cl negative will be eliminated from that and it will get converted into dichlorocarbene. Now reaction will start with the lone pair of electron which is present on the nitrogen in case of your primary aliphatic or aromatic amine, and this lone pair will react with the dichlorocarbene and will give rise to this particular adduct, which finally abstract the H positive from the system and will get converted into this one, and then finally there will be elimination reaction and hydrogen and Cl will be eliminated out, forming a double bond between the nitrogen and the carbene. So this particular carbon is now having the hydrogen and Cl. So under basic condition, this OH negative will abstract the hydrogen from this one, and this hydrogen will leave its electron pair here, and chlorine will be eliminated out in the form of Cl negative. So it will give rise to formation of isocyanide. So this reaction is also very important reaction, and this is basically a test for identification of the primary aliphatic and aromatic amines in the system. Now the next reaction, when we talk about the next reaction, is basically Hofmann elimination reaction, and this reaction takes place in case of quaternary ammonium salts. You know that when amines undergo exhaustive methylation, exhaustive alkylation reaction, at that time, for example, this is a case in which we are using methyl iodide in excess. When methyl iodide is being used in excess, and this is your hexyl amine, that is primary amine. So this primary amine will react with the CS3I, that is methyl iodide, and will get converted into hexa trimethyl ammonium iodide, means quaternary ammonium salt will be synthesized because of the exhaustive methylation reaction, because of the excessive methylation reaction. When this particular ammonium iodide on reaction with moist silver oxide, that is Ag2O in presence of water, moist silver oxide, it will undergo the elimination reaction and will get converted into alkene. Now you know that when alkenes are synthesized, there is generally two type of the rules that will govern the formation of the alkene, that will have the orientation of elimination, and these two rules are, one is the Hofmann rule and the second one is Sedgwick rule. In case of Sedgwick rule, if we are particularly talking about Sedgwick rule, means highly substituted alkenes will be preferred, they will be synthesized because they have extra stability, and the stability is mainly because of the hyperconjugative effect, right? And the Hofmann elimination means least substituted alkene will be synthesized, they will have the least substituent on the doubly bonded carbon, and because of least substitution they will have lower stability as comparison to the previous case. So in case of the general, if we are talking about more stable product will be synthesized, so that will follow the Sedgwick rule, but here the Sedgwick rule will not be followed and Hofmann rule will be followed, means least substituted alkene will be synthesized, my dear students. And what is the reason behind that? I will clear it, that there are basically two reasons. Number one is the bulky leaving group or the poor leaving group. You can see that this is a very bulky leaving group or this is a poor leaving group. So under basic condition, you have this carbon is bearing the leaving group, and you can see that here are this is somewhat reddish in color and this is having some different color. So these two carbon, this carbon and this carbon, these two carbons are bearing the hydrogen that can be eliminated out, right? So basically this is your alpha carbon that is bearing the leaving group, and this is beta carbon and this is also beta carbon. So when we talk about the beta carbon, at this beta carbon hydrogen is present and that hydrogen can be eliminated out, and at this beta carbon one hydrogen is present and that can be eliminated out. But when we talk about the steric hindrance at the beta carbon, we can clearly see that this carbon is sterically less hindered as comparison to this carbon. So the base will abstract hydrogen from this particular carbon because of less steric hindrance, and that's why Hofmann product will be synthesized as comparison to Said-Jep product. So this is the reason behind that why Hofmann product is the major product in this kind of reaction. You can see the crowding by using this type of method. This is the way by which you can see it, that how the crowding is here at this particular carbon, if we are particularly talking about this particular carbon, right? So this product will be synthesized, and this is the 96% Hofmann product, and Said-Jep product is only 6%. This is another the same case. Now these are the reactions of aliphatic as well as the aromatic system, in which the reaction was basically happening with different type of the reacting molecules. Now we discuss only the electrophilic substitution reaction. As you know that in case of aromatic amines, to the benzene system we have NH2 group attached, and you know that this NH2 group is basically electron donating group, and it is having plus R effect. And when we talk about the activation nature, you know that this is a strongly activating group, so it will activate the ring for further aromatic electrophilic substitution reaction, and this is basically ortho para directing in its nature. So when NH2 group is attached on the aromatic system, means we are talking about the reaction of aniline. It can undergo aromatic electrophilic substitution reaction like bromination, like nitration, like sulfonation, right? So these reactions can be done on the aromatic system, that is the electrophilic substitution reaction. When we talk about the product formation, you know that this is a strongly activating group, and it will direct the incoming electrophile to attack at the ortho and the para position. You can see on the screen that why this is basically ortho and para directing, why it is not meta directing. You can see that this is NH2 group which is attached with the benzene system. When an electrophile is going to attack at this particular position, you can have that a carbocation will be synthesized. And when we talk about the stability of this particular C positive carbocation that have been synthesized, this is the structure, you can see it, right? This carbon is having the positive charge, and to this carbon directly a group which is having plus R effect is being attached. So this particular carbocation will be synthesized, will be stabilized in more structure. For example, this you can see have the additional structure that will be incorporated. When we talk about the para attack, you can see that these are the different structures that can be written. These are the different resonating structure that can be written if we are having para attack, and these are the structures that can be written when we have meta attack in presence of NH2. And you can see that in case of meta, the C positive comes at this particular carbon, at this particular carbon, and this carbon. It is not directly coming to that carbon which is being the NH2 group. So there is no this kind of structure, means this is the extra structure, this is the extra resonating structure that can be written when we are having ortho and para attack. Or in other way we can say that basically this is a ortho para directing in its nature, this is having plus R effect. So when it will provide the electron, it will increase the electron density mainly at ortho and para positions, and that's why the incoming electrophile will be going to attack at these two positions only as comparison to meta position, right? That's why it is ortho para directing in its nature. Now we will talking about that this is basically ortho para directing in its nature. You can see the reaction on your screen that when this aniline is subjected to react with bromine, you can see that 2,4,6 tribromoaniline will be synthesized. Means this is the beauty of this reaction, that NH2 group being strongly activating group will have multiple substitution. This is the disadvantage of this kind of reaction, that is this ortho position, this para position, and this ortho position will be occupied. Now how can you achieve the mono substitution in this particular case? We can achieve it by using this particular course of reaction. For doing that step, first of all, you will have to convert your strongly activating group into moderately activating group or weakly activating group. So first of all, the aniline is reacted with anhydride in presence of pyridine. Basically, acetylation reaction is being carried out on the aniline. When acetylation reaction is being carried out, the aniline will be converted into N-phenyl ethane amide. Now, this strongly activating group is now converted into a weakly activating group. Right? Now how you can say that this is a moderate or weak activating group as comparison to NH2? Because nitrogen is containing lone pair of electrons, and to this nitrogen you are having C double bond O, carbonyl group is also attached. So it is having distribution of its electron to this particular carbonyl carbon as well, and because of that reason this particular group is weakly or moderately activating. So it will activate the ring for monosubstitution reaction. So you will get two different type of the substrate, means ortho as well as para. So one can be nullified and that second can also be used, and the majority of the component will be para. So when to this particular substrate we will carry out the bromination reaction in presence of acetic acid, only bromine will attack at the para position. So you will get this particular para position product. Now this can be back converted into NH2 by hydrolysis reaction. So it will be hydrolyzed and it will get converted into NH2. So this is the basically course of reaction by which you can convert aniline into para-bromo aniline. Otherwise it is not possible, and you will always get the polysubstituted product. Now we will talk about the nitration reaction. When we are talking about the nitration reaction, you can simply say that when aniline is subjected to react with the nitrating mixture, this is the nitrating mixture, HNO3 and sulfuric acid. So NO2 positive will be generated, and there is formation of para-nitroaniline in 51%. There is formation of meta-nitroaniline in 47%, and there is formation of ortho-nitroaniline in 2%. Right? So these will be synthesized, means all three product will be synthesized, that is the para substitution, ortho substitution as well as meta substitution. Right? Now we can justify that basically this can be achieved because strongly activating group is here. This can also be achieved because NH2 group is here, and that is ortho-para directing in its nature. Why this product has also been synthesized? Because the NH2 group is ortho-para directing in its nature, then why you are getting the meta directing meta positioned NO2 group? That can be synthesized because nitrogen is containing lone pair of electrons, and reaction is being taking place in acidic medium. So this nitrogen will react with the H positive and will get converted into NH3 positive. Now the group will be converted into meta directing. So the NO2 positive will now attack at meta position as well, and that is the reason that why this have been synthesized. Now again we can obtain a particular product by acetylation of this particular aniline. After acetylation we will carry out the nitration, and finally it will be hydrolyzed. So this is your aniline. It is first acetylated and will get converted into acetoanilide, and after formation of acetoanilide on nitration it will be converted into para-nitroacetoanilide, which on further hydrolysis will get converted into para-nitroaniline. Right? This will be the product. Here you will have to write it para-nitroaniline. This is not para-nitroacetoanilide, it have been written by mistake, so this should be para-nitroaniline. Now when we talk about the sulfonation reaction, in case of sulfonation reaction, aniline basically react with the concentrated sulfuric acid, and it will give rise to this particular product, that is para positioned product, right? And this will, because the acidic as well as basic group both are present into the same compound, so it will get converted into sulfanic acid, and this is basically exist in the form of deuter ion. So this is all about the aromatic electrophilic substitution reaction. So today we have discussed about aromatic electrophilic substitution reaction of the aniline specifically, that is bromination, nitration and sulfonation. We have discussed about the reaction of secondary and tertiary amine with nitrous acid, and we have discussed about the carbyl amine reaction and the Hofmann elimination reaction. So that's all for today's class, and tomorrow we will discuss about some more and test of identification of the amines.